This video is sponsored by OWC. The iMac Pro hasn't had a major update since it was released back in 2017. And with the regular 24-inch iMac getting a pretty substantial redesign earlier this year, the iMac Pro should be next on Apple's list. Now, it is important to note that this machine is most likely not going to be a direct update from the 2017 iMac Pro, but instead a successor to the 27-inch iMac, and Apple is internally talking about carrying over the same iMac Pro name to this 27-inch variant. Now, let's first talk about release date. This is always kind of the toughest thing to nail down, but recent reports suggest to spring of 2022. And Apple often holds an event right around March or April, and so we can expect to see the announcement of one right around that time if those reports are accurate. Now, the display should remain at 27 inches, even though there were talks of a potential larger model on its way. It appears the 27-inch size will remain for 2022, but will include a mini LED display similar to what we saw introduced on the 2021 MacBook Pros. We can also expect ProMotion, aka a 120 Hz refresh rate, on those new displays, making its way into that iMac Pro as well. There have been talks of the new iMac Pro looking a lot like a Pro Display XDR in terms of design, but I wouldn't be surprised if it looked like a cross between the XDR and also like the 24-inch iMac that again was released in 2021. However, I don't expect the white bezels to make an appearance, as Apple is planning to apparently stick with black bezels for this particular machine. Apple has tested Face ID for the iMac Pro, according to leaker Dylan DKT, but it's not a confirmed feature, and it's not clear whether Face ID will make it into the release version of the iMac Pro. We can also expect to see the return of a couple ports just like the MacBook Pros, so the HDMI port, the SD card slot, and several USB-C/Thunderbolt ports, as well as an Ethernet port included in the power adapter like the 24-inch iMac. The base model iMac will feature 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage, and that'll have a starting price of roughly around $2,000. Of course, we can also expect it to feature the same M1 Pro or M1 Max chips that were introduced in the MacBook Pros, and Apple could perhaps also introduce one additional higher-end configuration for this machine. The M1 Pro and M1 Max have the same 10-core CPU, though there is an 8-core version of the M1 Pro. The M1 Pro features up to 16 graphics cores, while the M1 Max features up to 32 graphics cores. And of course, it's going to be incredibly powerful like these new MacBook Pros that we have right now. And I am super looking forward to seeing what Apple does with the latest generation of the iMac Pro. And so I would love to know your thoughts on the latest iMac Pro rumors and whether or not you plan to pick one up in 2022. Go ahead and let me know in those comments down below. Now, before we end today's video, I do want to give you more information about today's sponsor, OWC. Even though Apple is adding some ports back into its Mac lineup, you can still never have enough ports and flexibility, especially when you're docked at your desk. So enter in the Owc Thunderbolt Dock. These 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports and 4 USB ports empower you to connect to the past, present, and future devices. You can connect up to 2 4K displays or a 5, 6, and 8K display, high-performance storage including NVMe SSDs, AV mixers, phones, tablets, even desktop accessories like a keyboard or mouse. Now, with the Owc Thunderbolt Dock, an entire world of USB and Thunderbolt accessories is ready for you to connect and expand your capabilities. The dock comes in a familiar look and feel, has convenient slots in the front like an SD card slot, another USB-A port, and a 3.5mm headphone jack for quick and easy access. And it's easily one of my go-to accessories when docking my MacBook at my desk. And of course, if you want to know more information about this product or any other product that OWC has to offer, click the link in the description down below. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.